Hello, Professor. I'm Harika Bullam. I'm going to continue the topic of best IDEs for software development. And as a continuation, we have not used Xcode IDE before. So let's see about Xcode IDE. Xcode is developed by an Apple company to support mainly their own Mac products. And there are some Xcode IDE features and technical specification like user interface prototyping, source control, and coding assistance, etc. And next we'll see the advantages and disadvantages. Okay. The main advantages are seamless development, best user interface, high-end application testing, and a simulator. And the main disadvantages are it only supports C language application and it only works on Apple OS. And let's see some main features, functions, and characteristics of our IDEs. And the main functionality of an IDE is an integration. That means IDE can act as a code editor, debugger, compiler in a single framework. So this makes every work for a developer as every module and project will be a well sorted. And the main features of IDEs are it acts as a text or a code editor, a compiler, a debugger, and a class and object browser, and it supports many automation and version control tools. And coming to the main characteristics of our IDE, we can easily develop any project, that means software project in a multiple programming languages, and we can use code refraction, code port filing, and debugger for error detection and correction. And also IDE supports multiple plugins and version controls. And it is so it is an overview for progression of activity in an IDE. Here we can see that how the files are created, stored, and compiles and loads into the CPU. And there are four types of IDEs. There are specific language IDE, multiple languages IDE, and mobile development IDE, and the web and cloud-based IDEs. And let's see some real-world projects done by organizations using IDEs. And many organizations in real world, from small to big, like Google, Microsoft, Dell, Caterpillar, prefer IDEs for easy and efficient development of our projects. And here we can see that Google App Engine was developed in IntelliJ IDE, and Apple Pay Engine was developed in its own Xcode IDE. And Facebook prefers Visual Studio IDE for most of the projects as it supports remote development extensions. And in the same way, Amazon Lightsail is developed with its own AWS Cloud9 IDE as it compatible with the many features. And for financial service project, Eclipse IDE was preferred by Chase company. And coming to the SWOT analysis, let's start with the strengths. Strengths of an IDE: increased efficiency via organizing resource, prevent mistakes, debugging, etc., and auto documentation. And it supports multiple programming languages in a SaaS platform, and building automation tools and many plugins. And next is the weaknesses of an IDE. IDEs are complicated tools, so as a beginner, it needs time and patience to learn. Even though IDEs supports auto suggestions, quick fixes, sometimes it may lead to the bad fixes of a code. So still we have to be proficient and should have a better understanding of complex internal processes. And let's see some list of open source tools. And the first one is a Visual Studio. It is an easy to install and mostly preferable for front-end development. And the uh, best feature of Visual Studio is a debugger. And next is an Eclipse. It is also a open source. It may not be a beginner friendly, but it is the best for Java development applications in real world. And but it requires JRE or JDK to use it. And the next is PyCharm. It is easy, user friendly, and preferable for Python projects. And next is IntelliJ IDEA. It is easy and multiple language supports. And next, Atom is also a open source. It is fairly simple and beginner friendly. And the next one is next and last one is Apache NetBeans. It is preferred for web applications. And we need to have a JDK 1.8 or a greater version to install it. And let's see some list of references used in this project. So these are the references from which we gather the information related to the IDEs. And the next is recommendations. So developers can use IDEs to facilitate their work, and IDEs helps to make software development process much easier and smoother. And also it helps for a better team collaboration, and this leads to increase in productivity and in less time and effort. And finally, IDEs has to be chosen by considering many features like a programming language, version control, plugins, and etc. And let's see the list of recommended features for choosing a best IDE. An IDE must include a debugger, syntax highlighter, mistake highlighter, and a compiler. And IDE must support integration and repositories like Git and Bitbucket, and it should support plugins like Maven and Gradle. And also, it is better to have a support of multiple coding languages with a user-friendly interface. And here is a list of recommended open source IDEs with more details, here is an Apache NetBeans. It is an open source with the 3 supporting languages as Java, JavaScript, PHP in a cross-platform with the inbuilt support of Glassfish and Tomcat. And similarly, there are other 9 IDs mentioned below. And to conclude, companies and businesses should use IDEs for better and easy software development. Features of IDEs facilitates better quality, time, and cost efficiency, and it promotes group collaboration. So by considering all this, it gives a clear visibility of entire development life cycle. And by considering all the facilities provided by the IDEs, we would strongly recommend that our CSIS department should have an elective course or DIS course on this topic. Thank you.